Good evening and welcome to the Chicago Communicated News Media remote broadcast for Omnibus Roundtable Television Show. I'm your host, Wanda Carter, and I have with me this evening my co-host, Mr. Anthony Travis. And we're going to be talking about what's in the stimulus package for Black people. What say you, Anthony?
Well, from listening to the bickering that's going on, they're talking about $600 PPE instead of $1,200.
Mm-hmm.
They're talking about $300 a week for unemployment that will run into April of next year.
Uh-huh.
The vice president elect Joe Biden is saying this is just a down payment
Uh-huh.
because he know we need more stimulus.
Mm-hmm.
But you got 20 Republicans in the Senate don't want to do anything for the American people.
That figures.
And Mitch McConnell, his thing is he want to protect corporations from being sued by their workers if they get sick with the corona.
Hmm.
So
According to what Bloomberg says, what's in Trump's platinum plan for Black America? On the eve of the first presidential debate, the White House unveiled a $5 billion package of promises aimed at African American voters. Did you know that?
yeah,
Hmm. All right. So, in his effort to woo African American voters before the election on September 25th, President Donald Trump unveiled a plan to shovel capital, jobs, and opportunities into Black communities, a program that is campaign that his campaign is calling the Platinum Plan for Black America. Whoa, whoa, whoa. So it didn't work, huh?
no, no, cause
You
he
mean to
didn't
say?
get he did not get the amount of black votes he thought he was going to
Mm,
get when he
mm,
came out with that platinum economic program.
mm-hmm.
So it somewhat backfired on him.
On him.
It's sort of like they. Where was he at 4 years ago
Mm-hmm. Hey.
when our community really needed the help 4 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
And don't be Johnny come lately thinking you gonna give me a carrot
Yes.
and I supposed to vote for you.
Well, a lot. They say that statistics said that more black men voted for Trump this time than before.
Right. But more black men still voted for Biden.
Okay.
Okay. And I heard black men make that claim. Say, wait a minute. Yeah, you had a few more black men voted for 45. But statistically, more
Mm-hmm.
black men voted for Biden, just like
Okay.
more black women voted for Biden.
Okay.
See,
Very good.
we got somebody on.
Welcome to the show.
It's Margot.
Hey, Margot, how you
Hey,
doing?
Margot.
Hey, how are you? Very exciting evening, huh?
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
we talking about this stimulus money and what's in it for black people. And so Anthony was just sharing his thoughts.
um, we're we're making a great mistake here in America.
How so?
We should have did like the Europeans,
How so?
shut the country down and give folks a check every month till we got the virus under control.
Yeah, that would have been a good plan.
That's what they should have done.
Hmm. But they didn't do that. So
No,
now what?
well, you seen the results of why they what they did. The reason what happened when they didn't do it. More people died.
But now
Okay.
what? We know more people died, and we know that it's expected that even more people
Yes.
will die.
Yes.
So
And
now, what should be our plan? What should be our action plan for the African American community? What should we be doing?
well, I heard a black doctor say that more black doctors, more black nursing associations are going to take the virus, take the
The
serum,
vaccine.
the vaccine,
Hmm.
and for us not to get miscombobulated over this issue.
Okay.
Um, yeah, we know what happened down in Alabama, but this is 2020, and now we have our own black doctors telling us that it's going to be okay to
Okay.
take the vaccine.
What say you, Margot?
Well, I'm still studying on whether or not I want to take it or not. So, they have had a lot of vaccines. They've had a lot of things that they had to do to stop the spread, to save people's lives. And in the process of trial and error, quite a few people made it. So, however, I'm still studying.
No.
I have family members who now have COVID-19,
Mm.
and if they're obeying the orders by staying in, doing some hygiene stuff. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. So they're not moving around, and they are.
Good.
I have them on the computer at the John Hopkins, just like I've had more people go on because they can speak a little bit more if they know more about it.
Right.
So just like Wanda and all of us, we have taken that exam
Yes.
to teach us how to be contract tracers so that you can at least be informed. I got a 7-year-old who's studying now along with her mom. Both of them have it. She's 7 and her mom is 52.
Wow.
So both of them are studying, and it's just, it's a virus. It's serious, and they need to know where it's coming from. They didn't have any fevers. They had a strep. She had a strep throat, and the little girl Trinity had a sore throat. My sister has strep. She works for the post office. So how many of our children have had, and how many adults have had strep throat in their lifetime? And how many children have had sore throats? They have them every 30 days, some cases.
Right.
So monitoring everything and looking at everything, because you're in and out, you're all over the place. Right. Were they wearing masks all the time? Absolutely not. But they were at my mother's house for Thanksgiving, and I asked everybody not to go, but they did. So my mother's household, nobody has it. They all been tested.
Okay.
So he could have come from anywhere. But however, I think this is a great opportunity. I know a lot of people are dying. I pray for those people who have lost their loved ones.
Yes.
But I see an exciting time coming ahead. I'm not one that's going to cry and lay around and blame 2,000 years back or 5 years back. But if God permit me to be here, I'm going to try to make it better. I'm going to try to encourage more people to open up their own businesses because our numbers are so low.
Yeah.
So whatever dollars we get, we should do something constructive with it, save our businesses, and do the best we can and coast right along. But our numbers are so small in terms of ownership, and then looking at the breakdown of the types of businesses that Black people are in. Mm-hmm. So we got a lot of work to do, and we should be excited about it. And I think we can become overwhelmed about the negative parts of what's actually happening and forget to look at what's ahead.
Yes. Now, this is the Chicago Communicated News Media broadcast. We're doing remote because of COVID-19, but I'd like people to know that this broadcast will be airing on CAN TV, Channel 19, on Wednesday, 2 weeks from now. So be sure to grab a pen, call a friend, and stay tuned in because we're going to be talking about this second stimulus check that's supposed to be coming up in the near future? And what part of that has been allocated towards the Black community? Does anybody have any statistics on that? According to CNET, the second stimulus check has a future. Here's what it is. Top U.S. lawmakers have their sights set on a smaller stimulus package for this month and a larger one in the new year. One of them could contain another direct payment for you. What say you, Anthony?
Well, in listening to CNN and MSNBC, I don't like what I'm hearing from Washington because they don't have a problem giving trillions of our tax dollars away to the 1%. But when it comes to the 99%,
They got a problem.
they got a problem, which is crazy. You got folks about to lose their property, get evicted from their apartments, and my scout Mitch, the only thing he's concerned about is protecting the business owners from being sued by their employees who get the virus by coming to work.
Mm-hmm.
He ain't worried about the workers.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
And how for the life of me can anybody vote Republican when they have told you they don't want to do nothing for you? Because if you ain't part of that 1% class, you don't mean nothing to them.
Wow, that's a very deep statement. That you
Well, let me.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, go ahead, Wanda. I'm sorry. I
No,
apologize.
that's a deep statement that he feels like the entire Republican Party has no interest in anybody's survival except for the 1%.
Well, that may be true in a sense, but I've been a Republican for 36 years, and I became a Republican after being a Democrat for many, many years, and I found out that how could we be a part? How could 80%? Let's just say 80%. How could 80% of blacks be all Democrats? The major two-party system is growing in other numbers now, independence and all the rest of it. How come we're not balanced across the board?
Okay.
The
Now,
reason
I didn't vote for. Wait a minute. I did not vote for Trump.
Okay.
I have a right to vote for whoever I want to vote for. But however, as a businesswoman, I was a Democrat for years. Right here in Chicago, under Stroger, taught very, very well. But when I became a black woman in business, I had a rough ass time here in the city. So I had to go where other people didn't go. I went to Indiana and I stayed in Chicago. Harold Washington was in office.
Okay.
We have been fighting an uphill battle. I went into a business that most women don't go into. I went into the lighting business. One thing that I found out is that their hands are not closed because the money that we come in there asking for, majority of us that are business owners, is not enough for them to even flinch.
Oh, wow.
So they give it to you.
Yeah.
I mean, when I say give it to you, you have to have qualified goods and stuff like that. I had the same kind of lights everybody else sold in the steel mills. But why, the question comes out is, why are we not equal, if not top heavy in some areas, but why aren't we?
Yeah.
That house up there is not equal because there's not enough of us in it. There's not enough black Democrats. It's not enough black Republicans. It's not enough black independents. It's not we should not be sitting ducks in one area.
You're right.
Because if our numbers was right, we could vote down some stuff that came up that we couldn't because there was no representation up there.
Yeah.
I've been to all of the little meetings, all the little hoop-ha meetings. I saw them do a raffle at a meeting and gave out semi-automatic weapons.
Oh, wow.
For a raffle. And some kids got it because they had the ticket.
Wow.
The parents took the gun, but they told them, I'm going to train you how to use it.
Oh, wow.
All down in southern Indiana, all down in different countries, even in my own people's house down in Arkansas. They had guns on the walls for years. They taught their children how to use those guns.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's a lot going on.
Yeah.
Did I get put out of my family members' houses when they found out I was? Yes, I did.
Yes.
But mine's one vote.
Now, one, oh,
I made a choice to keep 13 employees by getting contracts that I didn't have to bid for.
okay.
I got business because I was a minority, female, black-owned business, and I got the contracts that nobody else got because nobody else was in the lighting business. We need to go into businesses that we're not.
Yeah.
We're not represented in.
I guess we need to come together and formulate a plan for the type of businesses that we need to open in our communities so that we can have some representation. And then, as you said, we need to get in all the political parties. We should have representation.
We should be represented all over the place. Nobody should be allowed to. We should not be taken for granted at all. Period.
No.
It's true.
And that's the mistake we have made over the years, because while we were all Republicans.
Yeah, I read about that.
And Dirksen here in Chicago made a move to get us to become Democratic. But we should have learned from the Hispanics that you don't have permanent enemies.
You don't?
You don't have permanent enemies.
Okay.
You make sure that both political parties give you what you want.
All right. All right.
And that's what they do. They know how to play the game.
They know how to play. It is a game.
And we ain't learned to play the game because we got our folks too busy trying to sell us out so they can get some crumbs.
Well, if it was enough of us getting crumbs, it would equal up to something.
Yeah.
So for the few that are doing it, we just need to encourage more people to go in the business for themselves and not worry about the crumbs that's coming. We got to be motivated. We got to look at the opportunities out here and go for it.
Yeah.
That is so true.
Welcome to the show, Glenda. I'm sorry, you guys.
Hey, Glenda.
She must
be
have
muted, like she's
muted, but that's okay. So, it's just quite amazing how things turn out. According to CNN, again, they say negotiations for economic relief legislation to help the country weather the coronavirus pandemic have varied between approving a second stimulus payment for eligible people this year and leaving one out, with hopes that the direct aid will return to the conversation after the president-elect Joe Biden inauguration on January 20th.
Yeah, that's at $1,200.
So they want to go from 1,200 to 600.
Yes.
I mean, so we're looking at $1,200. We're looking at $1,200. I'm looking at a stimulus package and the breakdown of what's in. It's $9 billion.
Yes.
9 billion.
900 billion.
900.
I'm sorry. Yeah, 908 billion. I'm sorry. I'm looking at the numbers. $908 billion, and we're talking about 1,200.
Yeah.
Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah.
Yep. That's how they want to give the
Come
little
on now. All right. Now, so that's just a handout that's not for business people. The breakdown on here for small business is 288 billion for small business, and it's 180 billion for unemployed insurance. 160 billion for state and local governments. Mm-hmm. And it just keeps going down and down and down. So the people that's unemployed, they put the large money there, 108 billion.
Yeah, that's 300 a week.
Okay.
instead of the 600 a week.
Well, listen. All I can say is, whatever they give, if they give me anything, I'm gonna see if I can double it.
I heard that.
When I came up out of them projects, we didn't have very much of anything. But listen, we was knocking on doors asking if we could take somebody's trash can to the incinerator, or we was trying to figure out how to take some yarn and knit up some gloves and stuff. Whatever you have to do, sell candy, sell shea butter, or whatever you have to do to survive. We are survivors. We're gonna survive this thing.
Yeah.
And we're gonna come out on top.
Yes, ma'am. You're right.
Because they tracked a lot of people with their stimulus money. They tracked them to various different places. Big screen television. down payment on cars. And a lot of them paid their bills.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they were happy to get it.
Yeah.
You know, they were excited about getting it. So they're looking at a 1,200 or 600. I'm trying to figure out whatever I get, I'm going to try to double it.
Yeah, well,
maybe I can sell some leather gloves, or maybe I can go start a business. I started my lighting business with $346, which was my rent.
All right. Hey.
So we got to be creative. We was creative before. I don't like arguing. I don't like putting anybody down. I just like motivating and finding to remove the stress, keep us from just stressing all the way out instead of being creative.
You're right.
Minister Louis Farrakhan told a group of men at one of them prisons. I don't know if it was state. I don't know where he was at, but he was somewhere in the prison. And he was telling the brothers. He said, you all are locked behind bars so many hours. He said, I would use the ceiling as a canvas. I would use my time while I'm locked up to create or reinvent some things or shore up some things in my life. But I would be looking forward to coming out, but I wouldn't want to come out the same way I came in, without a GED, without learning how to read, without learning how to pray, without learning how to adjust my attitude. He said, this is a grand opportunity for you to begin a process to become successful.
Yeah.
Who stays in their house or in the same community doing the same thing with the same furniture, the same clothes, the same friends all the time, and they don't evolve?
Nobody really, but you're right. A lot of people may not see it that way. They don't see the daily living as daily transitions. We always changing, always evolving.
They say they're putting $82 billion in education, $45 billion in transportation for the airlines, airports, buses, and transit, and the Amtrak. $35 billion is going to healthcare, providers, relief funds. $12 billion going to community development financial institutions.
Okay. Wow. Who supports the number of lawmakers who support a second check? The support is growing, they say. What about those 2 senators that Trump has been trying so desperately to get? Has there been any feedback? How close is he to swaying that vote?
Where it came from, because I don't know at this point, but that's the breakdown that I got.
Okay.
So it's gonna benefit us in a lot of areas. Our kids will be able to go back to school. As they said, they're gonna put it in unemployment insurance that'll help us continue to receive funds. We're going to get more food. And some of them may not be reasons. It's a great opportunity to start your own business at this time because they're going to be giving free classes away like they have with SBA. So let's just find, in between all of this negative stuff that we hear, let's find a way to get involved.
I like that. Yes.
$28 billion, and it includes funds for paycheck protection.
Wow. Oh.
Hey, Wanda, how you doing?
I'm fine. How are you doing, Levette?
Hey, Levette.
Thank you. Hi there. How's everybody?
Everybody's great.
Real good.
Well, we were talking about the stimulus check and what's in it for Black people, and we were each just talking about what's available. Margot just got through telling us about small business. The money that's allocated towards small business initiatives, and then I don't know, Anthony, you were talking about what? How is that money related by the? How do you see that money being allocated?
The money, if once, hopefully by Friday, they should have some type of deal because them guys say they ready to go home. So
They're in session, right?
yeah, they're in session, and they got to come up with money for the government itself. They got to come up with money for the military budget. So
Yep, that's in here.
yeah. So if they don't want a whole lot of folks suffering for 2021 going into April, then they're gonna have to do something. And then again, they ain't gotta do nothing
Oh, they're gonna do something.
and let the people suffer. Oh, I agree with you.
No,
I agree
no,
with
they're
you.
gonna do no. It ain't gonna happen like that.
What say you, Levette?
These days, I think everybody's right and everybody's wrong.
That's a good position to be in.
Because you can hope for the best
Mm-hmm.
and anticipate something crazy at this point because it's like things are teetering on every second that is something different. And I have really studied our current going out the back door president, and not to my surprise, but just looking at some of the documentaries of how he does business,
Mm-hmm.
he wins because he keeps people tied up with lawsuits.
Oh,
And when I saw that documentary, it was how he duped Ireland. And they were so angry with him, but they couldn't do anything because anybody that wanted to report on his unscrupulous activity, he threatened to sue them. And so you had small-time people that backed out of the sponsorship of that documentary because they were afraid of being tied up with lawsuits. He never paid anybody, but he ties people up because they're the little man and they can't afford to stay in the courts. So he wins by stepping on the little guy. And he is at a point at this juncture in his presidency that his back is against the wall and he wouldn't mind the suffering of more people, because how much more suffering can you put on people and know that chaos is how you exist? And so he exists in chaos so he can win. And so people like that, to me, they are called Satan.
Oh, wow. Okay. What say you,
I'm in agreement. I just got through studying Hitler's reign. Identical. Identical. So if you are one that's highly emotional, you're gonna get caught up and you ain't gonna do nothing. But in the process of all of this, it's a time that's coming when his reign will be over. But right now, just like he said when he was running, everybody was on that line. I think it was 19 of them when they first started out. And he pointed to all of the people that was running against him. And he told each one of them, I put money in all y'all campaigns. He went down that line, putting his finger on everybody. I put money in your campaign, your campaign, your campaign, your campaign, which means they were bought from its inception. So the planning, the purchasing and buying money and putting people in campaign, that's a strategy.
Yeah.
So now that's his strategy. So now what do we do with our own strategies? Because we're going to survive this thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And, today I thought about something. I was like, when Pharaoh thought that he had total control, then there was a higher power that showed him a different way. And so just as this pandemic, during his time and his reign, there was a pandemic.
Uh-huh.
They called it the death angel. And so when Moses told Pharaoh, be careful the next thing that comes out of your mouth, because it's going to come back on you. And so we're looking at a repeat, because in Ecclesiastes it says nothing is new under the sun.
Absolutely.
And so we're looking at life in the repeat. And so I'm just looking to see when this dude is going to fall, because his family is, nobody said anything about his family and how this virus might have affected his family. His little son, Byron, has gone silent. And so we don't know the affliction that is upon them, because everything that they're doing, they're keeping it a secret.
Uh-huh.
And so we, as the last speaker spoke, it is up to us to strategize where we are, where we're going, what we're going to do, how we're going to get there, and really connect. Because I'm telling you, for some reason, I've spoken today to so many elder sisters who are really buckling at the knees.
Yeah.
And so they are the homeschool parents now. They're the homeschool teachers.
Yes.
Some are transporting the children, and no one is looking at the burden that is being put up on the shoulders of Black women.
Yes.
So when Biden said, I owe Black folks, I want to see that happen immediately. However he gets in, when he gets in, if this dude doesn't repair us first, and I'm talking about Black women, Black warrior women, because we are warrior women, and not to put the brothers down, but we now have that weight on our shoulders. And we will save our children, we will save our grandchildren, we will save our men. And so we have that conviction, and we need help doing it. And so I just want to say this, because my organization we're having a retreat, and I have to go there. It started at 6:30, and I have a hard time looking at numbers and figuring out how to call in and all that. But we are at this point in time where we need to take the bull by the horn and demand, because this organization, and then I'll end, this organization called LIFT, and I just read, I do a lot of, what do you call it, fast reading, just the headline, until I'm like, whoop, let me go back to that one, because I need to read that one.
Right.
But they said that LIFT, who distribute dollars all throughout the world, I mean, all throughout the United States, I guess particularly in Chicago, that's how I know them, and they got $2 billion. And when I read that, I was like, well, what, wait a minute. They got it for what purpose? For the death of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor. Now, listen now. They're getting funded so that they can redistribute those dollars back to various programs to help alleviate the pain that we're experiencing. So here, private donors have given them money to help us alleviate our pain, rather than giving us money to alleviate our own pain. And wait a minute, they broke it down how they distributed the money.
It's all gone?
75% to housing. I don't know who you house. Why you put so much, and who told you to put that much in housing? 15% for loans and grants to businesses. I don't know who you distributed money to, and 10% back to programs. It seemed like that was bottoms up. It seemed like it should have been 75% to the programs and to the community, and then all that the other way around. And so we've got to ask the question: how are you all getting money based upon our pain, and then redistributing back into our community, where it's a trickle down kind of theory. And so
wait a minute, Levette,
yeah.
out of the small businesses that you know, who got some of that money?
Most of that money went to millionaires.
Yep.
So yeah, they gave peanuts to most of the. That's why all of the businesses are going out of business, because it wasn't enough. And while you had millionaire business, multi-million-dollar companies getting PPE money that was supposed to go to very, very small business. So that's why, and this is the jack up now with the stimulus money, because in that, the Republicans are still trying to give pork to their people.
Yeah.
And so it is not about this is about the wealth being raped. This is about America being raped of our wealth. Because when the 400 years came up last year, that's when we were supposed to get paid in 2019. And so what they're doing, they're redistributing the wealth that was written in legitimate documents that was supposed to be redistributed to the indigenous people. Really, we're the indigenous people of the land, but through the slave documentation, we are supposed to get that 40 acres in our transportation. So, and instead, they are redistributing the wealth through giving the farmers billions of dollars. They're giving them over $20 billion to redistribute their GMO food back to our communities, where now we're standing in the damn line waiting on them boxes that dude said in the beginning. Why not give them food in boxes that'll last a month? I saw this happen. When he said it, if this dude's going to be in, and then all of a sudden, my mama got a box. I said, where you get this box? Don't you ever get a box. Don't you ever let them give you a box.
That's right.
Because this dude said, why not just give them a box to last a month? So what he did, he gave the farmers the money that China didn't give them. And so that $16 billion, we got their GMO crop being redistributed back to us.
Jerry,
where we're standing in line for boxes.
It's crazy.
Anyway,
that's
listen,
crazy.
I love you talking to y'all on Wednesday, right? And this was a impromptu kind of meeting that my organization threw. So God bless y'all, and
thank you.
I just know that there are people that have intelligent conversations, and you know, when we get to the table where we can really put this in a solution and demand, because that's what they need to. It's not about asking. It's about, look, what are our demands? And we need to put that in red. So when they get it, they say, no, we can't throw this one in the garbage. They have to put some blood on this one. So anyway, y'all have a good night.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Welcome to the show, Gary. Thanks for that.
God bless.
Welcome to the show, Gary. Welcome to the show.
Now, who's that? Now, who's the other? I'm sorry. Who are the other voices? I'm so sorry.
You had Anthony. You had Margot. We have Robert McKay. We have Jerry Hudson. And we have Margot Richmond.
Yes. Well, God bless y'all at y'all brilliant minds. Good night.
Good night.
Thank you. And we have Rose Anthony. Oh, hey, Rose. How you doing?
Hey, Rose.
Good.
Hey, Robert. How you doing?
Good, Wanda. I'm hanging in there. I'm sorry getting all this.
All right. What about
Hey, Robert.
How you doing?
Jerry?
I'm hanging, y'all.
Oh, okay. Anthony.
I'd be doing a lot better if I get that $600 a week again. I'll tell you, boy, that my unemployment check is $216 every 2 weeks.
Lord have mercy.
That's what I have to live off of.
Oh my goodness.
It's bad. I'm telling you, because
it's gonna get worse.
Huh?
It's going to get worse.
Yes, before it gets better. I'm an independent driver for Uber and Lyft, so I'm getting unemployment from them because they said if you were over 65, you should not drive.
Right.
I have not driven.
Right, because you don't need to be out in the environment.
Right. So let's see if they extend that unemployment past December 26th. What say you, Jerry?
Can you hear me, Wanda?
I can hear you a little loud. Speak
Hi,
up.
Jerry.
Who you asking, Jerry or me?
Hello.
How you doing? I can hear you now.
You can hear me or you can
A
hear
little bit. A little bit. You got to, your mic is low.
Who, mine or Jerry?
Jerry.
Jerry.
Jerry, can you speak?
Her mic is not unmuted.
Oh, unmute your mic, Jerry. Well, anyway, we're talking about the upcoming stimulus package, and how much of that is going to be allocated to Black America. What say you, Rose?
I'm just tuning in. I want to listen up a little
bit. Okay. Margot, bring up to date.
Wanda?
Hey, Glenda.
Hey, can you hear me?
Oh, now I can, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you're one of your congresswomen and some of the Congress folks had a meeting today. I walked in on it, so I didn't catch all of it, but
talk a little louder, Glenda.
Anthony, what's your congresswoman out there name?
Rose.
Robin Kelly.
Yeah, Robin Kelly and them, and they were talking about the stimulus and some other things. So we probably need to pull that piece of news media for the day. I think when I walked in the office today, it was about 12 noon when that was on. So we need to try to find that piece and listen to what they were saying. But I'm like Lavette, we've always had famine in the land, and we've always survived. And I like how Lavette put that, because I don't want no 40 acres and no mule. I can buy my own transportation.
You don't want that. You don't want the 40 acres and a mule. Give you some money.
Give me my money.
Give me some money.
And make sure it's decent, because over in some of these other countries in place, they're giving those folks like $7,000 a month to live off while there's good old stuff out here going on.
Oh, so like where are they giving them $7,000 a month?
I'll tell you about it. So why couldn't we do something like that to that effect? They help take care of these other places. We are a rich country. Plenty of money in Chicago too.
Yeah.
The man told Chicago is not broke, right, Anthony?
That's right.
What say you, Robert?
Well, I say that the question is about the stimulus money for Black people. We're owed much more than that. I mean, people have been given a head start on much of what they've benefited from in this country, and we were not part. We have supplied the labor which they built their wealth on, and we're not enjoying it. These immigrants are coming here, and they're setting, rolling out the red carpet so that these people can come in here and benefit. And we have 80,000 people on the streets in Chicago who are homeless.
Yeah.
And almost 14,000 of those are CPS students who are homeless. Wow. So that is where the resources should be going first. In our community.
Yeah.
So but that's only talking to the wind right now, because as we see, and much of we've have pleaded for, even during the Obama administration, it went on deaf ears.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
Until we can get, we should be tax free. I know Anthony's his campaign is about reducing tax. We should not be paying taxes. Period. We didn't get on ships to come here to benefit from the wealth that's built by our ancestors.
Right. You're right. Yeah. Right. What say you, Jerry? I think she might still be having some problems with audio. Okay. Margot.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. What do you think about what Robert just said? You know, with I don't know, it's like they're not really listening to our pleas. But as you said, we need to think and we need to realize that we create our own future. So we need to just get on up and do whatever we can collectively so that we can start to make some demands on these politicians.
Well, if Chicago alone, I mean, the lady was talking about how many $1 million came into the city of Chicago and the money that was distributed out. And we got what's listed, thousands of homeless people that are in shelters. That money has to be broken down. Unless we break down where this money is, how it's being distributed, and who has been, that takes a whole think tank of a lot of different groups of people, you know, going in to dissect where this money, who's being given to, and where. We got homeless people all over the place, veterans. We got regular people that are outside. We got programs that are shutting down, and we're making money off of medical marijuana because the lines are around the corners. When you get ready to go to methadone centers, they're going around the corners. We even haven't counted how much money they're making. Now, they're making a lot of money off the state. So if we're not counting them and we have real numbers, the brother is saying, you know, I'd like to have that $600 coming back into my fold. And I agree with them. But when you get it, you got to make sure that you do something with it that's going to benefit something. You know, I see people at the wholesale houses and they selling and they turning things over. Them Hispanics ain't playing. They got shopping carts with all kind of goods in it, riding up and down the street, and we're buying it from them, and we don't even have no carts out there.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm going to try to figure it out, and I'm going to get out there and I'm going to try to make it happen. You know, we may not ever get no 40 acres of music. I've been listening to that since I was a kid. I'm 66 years old, but I go up to the plate trying to swing to get it. I'm going in that door to get me some of that money out of there.
There you go.
So if you're healthy, if you can move around, I see people at the Social Security Board working with no damn hands, no feet. And they sit in a chair with an apparatus on their ear and across their head. We got to get busy. That's all.
Yes, that's true. We do. We got to get busy. We got to start formulating a plan, an action plan that we can employ to bring ourselves to a better position in our economic environment. Because this is truthfully, the environment is focused on economics. You know, that's what politics is all about, the money. It's all about the money. Who gets what? Who gets what piece of the pie? What say you, Glenn?
And throughout this stimulus package, just $980 billion.
$980 billion.
But it's distributed throughout all kinds of it's all over the place. It's unemployment, it's state and local government, it's transportation, it's hospitals. We are all a part of all of this.
Yep.
Education, transportation, airlines, airports, you know, healthcare.
So
school,
all that it will be lucky.
So we benefit. Our children are in the public school systems.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we're getting a part of all of. We may not get what, you know. We need to figure out what we need to be getting. Other than all of these are it's a lot of money out here.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, and keep in mind, after Biden takes office January the 20th. They're going to be working on another stimulus. So this is he said this is just a down payment.
So are we supposed to get some kind of stimulus before this holiday season?
Well, that's what they're working on. You got a group of Republican senators and Democratic senators that have been meeting to work out a deal.
Okay. What say you, Jerry? Can you hear me?
She's muted.
She's still muted. Okay. So Robert.
Yes.
Got any additional opinion about, we're about to close, y'all. We got about 10 more minutes. So let's everybody formulate your closing statements about stimulus package and what Blacks are going to get out of it. What do you want our audience to know?
Well, we have people who and the stimulus is coming from the federal side.
Yes.
We have elected officials who are in the federal category who should be coming back and sharing information on how this process should be applied for.
Okay.
And so your congressmen, your U.S. senators, where are they in this process? What are they saying?
Yes, what are they saying? Okay. What
So
about
we need to get they should be at the table. They should be on this call and letting people know what needs to be done and when it's coming and how it is coming. And
so let's invite somebody to the show.
All right.
Yeah, and then the other thing is, if we can't get them onto the show, you can go on their websites and pull down update information and see if it pertains to any of this. I pulled my alderman's down.
Okay.
You know, so all he has on his site that I can see that's worth anything is emergency numbers in case of an emergency, where to call, how to call, you know, and the numbers of people that's missing in the community, you know, robberies and all the rest of that kind of stuff. So we need to just call there, you know, email them.
Okay. Okay. So what about you, Rose Anthony? You want to give us a closing statement, recommendation?
Yeah, I want to bring to the attention of everyone. I found out last Saturday on Celine's show that there's going to be a National Black Leadership Summit Saturday from 10 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. You got to go to the Nubian Leadership Circle.com to register. So Minister Farrakhan is going to close out. Dr. Cornel West is going to speak. Dr. Ephraim Williams is going to speak.
All right. Y'all get that?
Yep.
So you can
repeat it one more time, please.
You can call 202-922-6527. The all virtual National Black Leadership Summit, December the 12th, 10 a.m. to 2:30. You got to go to NubianLeadershipCircle.com and register.
All right.
Okay. Got it.
Linda, you got any announcement for us?
Thank you, Anthony.
All right.
Glenda? Okay, Rose Anthony.
Also, folks, if you got relatives living in Florida, Georgia, call them up. Tell them, get organized. Get out and vote.
That's right. That's right.
So get your friends to vote. We got to win those 2 Democratic seats.
All right. All right. Rose Anthony, give us your closing statement. Hello.
Peace be still.
I love it, girl. I love it. Jerry, can you hear us now?
I can hear you now. Yeah, I've missed. Can you hear me? Great. I've missed much of the show. In closing, sort of not to take too long, I just appeal to us as a people to look at the losses that we have gone through over the last 20 years, block by block. Mm-hmm. And let's start looking at whether or not that changes year by year. Ooh. And if it does not, we need to know that nothing has changed.
Huh. All right.
Yes.
It's like we run backwards, right? It's like
girlfriend,
in a circle.
That's so obvious. You can go on one. You never have to take a look. I'm a researcher. I'm a microbiologist, and so they're playing a lot of games with the virus. Because you know what? You can conduct all the research in the world you need with 50 people on about anything in the world.
Okay.
Wow.
So you could take one block, and if that block doesn't have a new black business, and we can take 87th and Cottage Grove, we can take a picture of it today, and we can go take a picture of it next year. If it still has the same owners, we're not doing nothing.
See?
Yeah, because basically we're not productive consumers.
That's right.
We are
consumers.
We're the world's number one consumers.
Yeah.
You know, we consume up everybody's stuff. Yeah. We don't even want to We don't even want to buy from our own people because we said,
I don't even know if I'm not going to even say all that is true. I just know one thing, sweetheart. We are it.
Yeah.
And we got to stop being that. I'm not going to make up.
I understand.
You said we
Truly.
are it.
We are it. Yes. Everybody in the world knows it.
Absolutely. So if we consume and we put all our consumptions in our pot, absolutely, we run the world.
Yes.
You're so right about that.
Yes.
Right.
But we don't understand that.
We don't understand it.
We don't understand.
That's why we got to come together and help one another understand what we need to do as a group of people, so we can surge ahead.
So we can stop being it and become something else.
Absolutely.
So we can pass the
buck. So we can become something else. That's right. Collectively.
I like her.
We have arrived. We are arriving. We are arriving.
Yeah,
that's right, sister. That's right.
Absolutely, I know.
May the blocks be different. How about that? May the blocks be different.
And not only
I like that.
I came up with, I was thinking I was like, Black Lives Matters absolutely. So if I'm on 111, we start like a domino effect. 111 matters. Just like they had a zip codes 312 and 773 604.
Yeah.
So that the communities are talking. Now we're communicating.
Yeah.
Now, what's the difference between a neighborhood and a community?
Come on, what is it? What's the difference?
Well, in communities, that means everybody know everybody. You're networking. Neighborhoods, we just renting. We're just there consuming other businesses, products, and we just exist.
Yeah.
So when we come back to our community, we create our community.
Yes.
So if I'm in my community, then I'm gonna be out. Yeah, put me a sign out. Just like my Black Lives Matter, 111th Matter, 47th Street Matter, 39th Street Matter. So what's your code?
There you go. It's a code. I like that.
So it's empowering. When I believe that when we get together for one cause, positive agenda, everybody want to get involved. Everybody wants some. I want some. So we don't have to call. We don't have to say, oh, you live in the ghetto. Ghetto is the state of mind. It's not where you live, it's how you live.
Ooh, didn't she say a mouthful, you all? She said a mouthful right there. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, I have just enjoyed this time we've had together this evening, but we're coming to a close.
Okay, then.
I'd like to thank each and every one of you for joining me this evening with the Chicago Communicating News Media remote broadcast for Omnibus Roundtable Television Show.
Absolutely. It's all about love.
Yes, it is.
It's all
agape.
Agape. I love it. I love it. So I look forward to you returning next Wednesday.
Okay, then.
It's 6 o'clock.
And we may have that stimulus next week.
Follow up about what happened with that stimulus money.
He said, "Make me have that stimulus." What you say, brother? You want that stimulus?
Yeah, we're gonna get it. We should have it by next Wednesday.
All right. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Have a good night.
Thank you. You too.
Bye-bye.